Hey guys, Aslan here with a quick review of Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Resident Evil 7 is a ghastly and suspenseful first-person horror game that is sure to have you on the edge of your seat. The game brings in a new story and fresh characters to the series. You don't need to have any knowledge of the previous games from the series to enjoy Resident Evil 7. The most notable change in Resident Evil 7 from its predecessors is the change to a first-person perspective from the previous game's third-person view. I am thrilled with this change. The first-person view makes everything feel so much more intense and a lot scarier. You play as Ethan, and your wife has been missing for years. Having nearly given up hope, you receive a message from her, and you set out on a mission to find her and bring her home. Upon your arrival, you encounter this completely deranged family. The story is really messed up, and I found myself both intrigued and bewildered by it. I don't want to give too many details about the story since I don't want to spoil anything. However, I will say that some events took me by surprise, while other plot developments were extremely predictable. In Resident Evil 7, you can expect to be afraid. The fear is generated by an excellent balance of jump scares, hide and seek, tense atmosphere, and close quarters action. I'm quite impressed with how well everything is intertwined to create this truly terrifying game. The locations where Resident Evil 7 takes place are fairly small in scale and don't provide a massively large world to explore. The environments look decent though, and the design is done well. The small rooms and tight corridors definitely do a great job at creating a whole lot of suspense as you explore. Everything is so creepy and bloody. I often found myself cringing at some of the gruesome acts I witnessed, especially some of the things being done to me, and I loved every minute of it. Despite the smaller sized world, there is still plenty to discover. Exploration is encouraged, not only to learn more about the backstory and keep stocked up on supplies, but also to find the key items you'll need to solve puzzles and progress. The puzzles incorporated into the gameplay are not difficult, but they feel appropriate and were enjoyable. Ammo and first aid kits are limited quantity, but there are plenty of supplies to be scavenged if you're looking hard enough. The limited inventory was a pain at times though. Destroying my items to make room for new ones discouraged me from exploring as thoroughly as I would have liked to. There are supply box locations where you can store all your extra items, but going back and forth to unload can be tedious. There is a straightforward crafting system to make consumables. The ammo and health kits both use one of the same key ingredients, so players will need to decide carefully which items they want to make. The creatures you encounter in combat are not very diverse, but they are still incredibly effective at scaring the crap out of you. In many cases, you can choose whether to fight or take flight. I usually chose to fight whenever possible since I enjoyed the intense close quarters combat. There are times where you have to run and hide because you can't kill the enemy. I don't normally like unkillable mobs, but the game implements them well, and it's in a way that makes sense within the story. As far as the graphics go, the overall character models look good. The way that the characters interact so violently with your character right up in your face is often terrifying. The mouth animations for the dialogue could use some improvements though, in order to more accurately represent the words being spoken. My biggest complaint about the graphics was the issue with the aliasing, giving me some obvious texture artifacting in some areas. I tried changing every single option, but I could not find a way to correct the problem. The performance was great. I was experiencing steady frame rates, 59.9 to 60 FPS on max settings, almost the entire game. There were only 2 small instances where I had experienced very brief but noticeable frame drops. The voice acting is done very well, and for as bizarre as the plotline is, the characters make everything feel so real. The sound effects, music, and ambience do an incredible job at creating an insanely tense and often terrifying atmosphere. The game does a fantastic job keeping you completely immersed and feeling on edge. The key bindings are fully customizable, and there is full controller support. I played using the mouse and keyboard with no issues at all. The game took me just over 8 hours to complete, and that was with me exploring a reasonable amount. There were still lots of collectibles to find, and there is more than one ending, so there is potential replay value. Overall, Resident Evil 7 is a quality game featuring a fantastic blend of terrifying encounters and a tense atmosphere throughout. If you're a fan of horror games, or you want to see the Resident Evil series return to its horror roots, then you won't want to miss out on Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. I hope this review has helped you. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and post your feedback in the comments below. Thanks everyone, and have a wonderful day.